It'd be nice to get a record deal and this and that, but like if we work hard enough, there's no reason why we can't put out our own records, because we have been. There's no reason we can't book our own shows, and there's no reason we can't make it then like on our own, since we're doing all those things.
I'd be happy just making a living out of it, you know, being able to play some shows. I mean, I absolutely love playing music. You know, it's my favorite thing in the world to do, so if I can actually do that and call that my job, then I would be a happy person.
There's more music available to the public today than ever before. The growth of technology and communication makes it possible for anyone to make a recording and then distribute it. Through all of this clutter, all of the noise, how does an act get heard? From the moment a song is conceived until the instant the first note enters someone's ear, there's the question, are they the right ears? Will those who hear listen? And ultimately, will those who listen keep listening? Safe Haven is a young rock and roll band hailing from the suburbs of Chicago, Illinois. The band is comprised of Pat Lyons, Mike Noonan, Nick Stankus, Jarrett Rindak, and Scott Walker. After the loss and addition of members, these are the musicians who today play their original music in bars, bowling alleys, and small venues throughout Illinois. The band says their attendance at their shows appears to be growing, but they're still waiting for the day they can quit their part-time jobs and play their original work for a living.
Developed more of a fan base now because we got the band set and we're really playing a lot of shows and we're really getting it out there. So yeah, it's definitely better than it was a year ago, and that's the thing, since the start it's always gotten better. So it's just like, we fell in like a couple slumps here and there when we were like getting new people in the band, but we knew that was going to happen because you got to take a couple steps back. But every time we like taking a step back, it's always been to go like further with it, and we have every time. So
before I was in Safe Haven, I was a fan of Safe Haven. You know, we all most of us went to high school together, and I checked out a lot of those shows, and I got to kind of see this progression, and then to be a part of the progression later on is pretty cool.
But where does the progression go next? Safe Haven has recently begun working with a couple of booking agencies to try and increase the volume of live shows they play. As of early 2008, they've been playing about 2 or 3 shows every week. This opposed to the 2 to 3 shows a month when the group started. But even with the help of professionals, Pat says he and the other members would rather do most of the work themselves.
we were still teenagers, and me and Scott and our first bass player, we used to just drive down like this Cicero Avenue, and we're like, all right, any bar we see, we're going to drop a CD off in there, let's get a show there. And like, we were under 21, so it was really tough because they're just like, oh, you guys can't come in here, blah, blah, blah. And we found a couple places that let us play, and like, they'd have us back because they liked us or whatever. But then that, like, playing music is one thing and entertaining people, but then they want you to bring a crowd, and it's like all your friends are under 21, so it was really tough. So like right now, it's like the booking's coming a little bit easier because like out by us, it's just like we know a lot of people, and like we could just be like, we'll play at a bar, and like we get all our buddies and friends and people, like fans and stuff up there.
Nowadays it's a little bit better. The shows we play are usually like a little more developed. They're in like better areas. The pay is a little bit better. Seem to get more of a fan following.
Mark Rubel is the owner of Pogo Studios in Champaign, Illinois, where he records and produces music professionally. Mark seems to agree with the approach Safe Haven is taking in keeping the business and creative aspects within the band instead of hiring out a lot of help.
It used to be there were only so many venues, and it used to be that you had to go through a professional booking agent to get the shows. Definitely bigger shows, festivals, and that kind of thing, one still does. And that can be very useful as long as they're in your corner, they're professional and reliable, and then they're worth the percentage that they take from doing that. It is possible for people to promote their own shows these days, and many people do, or to go direct with certain venues without having a booking agent in between. And I think that gets you to a certain point, and then probably at the point where they are, it becomes useful to start connecting with booking agents who can get them to play over a wider area and get bigger shows that hopefully make more money.
One of the biggest problems a new band faces is trying to do a lot with little. Financing recordings and purchasing public announcing systems is expensive, and without the financial support from a major or independent record label, Safe Haven has done the recordings both in the studio and also in Pat's apartment.
We go to the studio, Jarrett would record the drums, then we track it, and then like I had some recording equipment at my house. Like I live in an apartment, and like we were doing the album, and it was really tough because like I'd be in my room and I'd be like have my guitar cranked up all the way. The neighbors would be banging on the door like when I'm trying to record, and they're just like, "Could you turn it down?" Blah blah blah.
What would you expect from Safe Haven if you've been following the group for a little while? I think that's the kind of that was a goal I think we were trying to get is can we get something out to the audience that's quality.
We didn't have like thousands of dollars to spend. We did it on a bare like bones budget, and like we were really happy with what we did, like with what we had. So
Generally from a low end of maybe $25 an hour to $35, $50 an hour. And then when you get into that range and $50 and up an hour, generally you're in a professional recording studio situation where you can expect somebody who really knows what they're doing. Studios charge by the hour, so that's only part of the story. If, for example, you pay $25 an hour for someone who's really slow and takes a really long time to get a not particularly good product, then it may not be as worth it as it would be to go into a professional setting.
I'd never written an album with a whole band before. Like I'd written parts of an album with another group that I was in, but it's cool how we all get to add something and we all listen to each other and kind of piece it all out, and we like to add our own perfections on kind of towards the end after we try it a couple times.
pretty much like the sounds like developed a lot, so it's just like we're really excited about that, and it's going to be like a big step for us, I think, because I think that's the next step, like the thing within a year. Once we put this album out, we'll be like, all right, this is what they're about now, and this is what it sounds like. This is what we're booking. This is what we're going to go see at concerts.